So me and my business partner were able to scale and grow a six-figure agency in just a couple of months. Here's a couple of screenshots to show you guys that we've actually done this right now. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about actually building out and finding the correct niche to actually focus on. Because if you don't choose the correct niche to grow your AI agency, it'll never grow effectively. You'll never be able to make huge months of profit. So let's just break down exactly how to choose this. Now, before we figure out what niche to choose, we need to figure out what constitutes a good niche and what you should focus on. So what I always say and what you should do is you should focus on high ticket clients, right? High ticket. Now, I'm sure you guys know, everyone knows Alex Hormozi, right? And the thing is, though, he always has this quote that says, you should charge high ticket prices and charge rich people because they pay better, right? You always want to make sure you charge high ticket. If you can't charge high ticket with a certain business, it isn't the best business to tackle, in my opinion. Now, there are a couple of different ways you can do this, right? You can tackle this by charging $2,000, $3,000 a month, but I suggest let's define high ticket as being able to charge someone $1,000 every single month just for your service without even covering any type of ad spend. They should be able to pay you $1,000 a month. That's a perfect thing to start, right? Now, there's different ways you can actually do this. You can do this through retainers. You can do this through payment on results, but either way, as long as they have at least $1,000 to pay you, you should be ready to go, right? Now, the thing is, though, you have to make sure as an agency that you're making them more than $1,000 a month, because if you're not making them more money than you're charging them, you'll never ever, there's no reason to have you, right? Tons of agencies charge $1,000, but they don't bring in $1,000, so it's not good at all. So what you're gonna wanna do is find a niche that has very high ticket transactions. So a transaction, of course, is every time they make a sale or make a payment. You want to make sure that the transaction is at least $1,000, right? So if they don't get a transaction that's at least $1,000 each, it's going to be very hard for you to find a successful return on investment for your client. So this is why I say places like hair salons are like terrible. Never do hair salons. I say don't really work with car detailers either because they're very low ticket. I would say anything that's low ticket, don't do it. Because the reason is you're gonna have to spend a lot of time, a lot of effort to fill their calendar, get them results. So let's say, for example, you work with a med spa, for example, right? Now, med spas are usually good, but you have to focus on a high ticket actual product. So let's say you have a med spa and you're guaranteeing them Botox patients, right? Botox, something like that. So one Botox session is going to be maybe around, like $400, maybe $500. Let's just say it's $500, right? So if one Botox session is $500, and they're going to probably profit around maybe half of that. So the actual clinic's going to make $250. That means that you have to get them at least 4 clients for them to be profitable, right? And getting someone 4 clients isn't that hard. It really isn't. So that's a good idea for an actual high ticket service, right? Or things like that. So let me give you a list of actual really good niches that we've worked with that work very well. So for example, we've worked with roofers. Everyone's working with roofers now. Roofing is a very, very competitive market, but it's competitive because it's good, right? There's a reason why people are in that market. You can work with roofers, home service. You could do like electricians. You could do like HVAC. You could also do something like, let's just say, you can also do plumbers are good as well, right? So people who are very, very into the HVAC type of home service space. Another type of person you can work with are real estate agents. These are really, really good. And we have a couple of real estate agent clients with us. It's very, very good because one home you sell them, they can make thousands of dollars from it, right? So real estate agents are very good. Another person, you can work with lawyers, is very good as well. You can work with just tons of different people, right? Now, these are very high ticket clients. Now, what you're going to do is once you figure out a high ticket client you can work with, I want you to focus and double down. I want you to focus, right? Because the thing is, this is what kills so many businesses. So just to give you a perspective on what we've done. So in the past, when I worked with my own agency, I worked with anyone, right? I worked with anyone who had a pulse because I was broke, right? So I just needed money. So what I did was I just worked with anyone, and I had a car detailer, I had a hair salon, I had a lot of hair salons actually. I had a lot of hair salons, just different people. And the thing is, though, it's really hard and really bad to do multiple different businesses because without focus, things get complicated. So, for example, let's say you work with 2 niches instead of 1 niche. I'm going to show you guys a really cool diagram. And also, don't mind my terrible handwriting, but you guys get the point, right? So 2 niches, right? So let's do 2 niches and let's do 1 niche here. So let's say there's 2 here and 1 here, right? So the person that works on one niche, they have one niche, they have one offer, right? And they have one product. So 1, that means they have to do everything one time to actually get results, which is great. Now, if you have 2 different niches, here's what you're going to do. You're going to split your work in 2. So you have one niche here, one niche here. You're going to have one product here and one product here, right? And you're going to have, and it literally multiplies the amount of work you do, because now instead of doing one thing, you have to do 4 things. Right? And the more niches you add, the more complicated it gets, right? And what you want to do is you want to productize your service and make it super simple and focus on one niche that actually works out for you. So instead of doing that, you should just focus on one niche, one funnel, and just focus on being the best at that, right? You can literally work with one niche and make millions of dollars, right? The world is so vast. There's so many different real estate agents. There's so many different lawyers. You don't need to work with tons of different niches to actually get started, right? So with that in mind, we now know that we need to choose one niche that is high ticket, that can charge us at least $1,000 per month, right? At least 1,000. Now the next question is, who should we start out with? Who should be our first niche or first client? And what I say is, you should always choose a niche that's the easiest to get into. You want to choose a niche where you have a competitive advantage, a CA. You want to have a competitive advantage in the niche that you work with. So for example, let's say your dad is a lawyer, right? Awesome. If your dad's a lawyer and he owns his own law firm, I mean, you could just have him as a client and run their ads. Crazy, right? You can do that. Or let's say you have some experience with, let's just say, roofers. Let's say you know a roofer or you are a roofer, right? That works as well too. So what you're going to want to do is choose a niche where you can get into very, very quickly and just get some results under your belt and work with them so that you can start making money and growing your agency, which is really, really cool. Now, there are tons of ways you can do this. Now, for me, for example, I started off because I went to local businesses. In fact, one of my neighbors is actually my client, because what I did was I went to him. I said, hey, you're my neighbor. I see you all the time. I'm going to help you out. I saw you didn't have a website. You don't have any marketing. Let me help you out with that. And they said, awesome. I see him all the time. My neighbor, right? So figure out your competitive advantage and just gain that trust so you can actually go and close them as a client. So that's why I say finding a niche is really, really good. And if you have no money to start off with, we always recommend to do something called warm outreach, right? Now, there's different forms of outreach. I'm sure you guys know Alex Hormozy, of course. He's the GOAT. You can do warm outreach, cold outreach, you can do ads, or you can do content, right, to actually grow your agency or your business. Now, warm outreach is great, and what warm outreach means is that you just talk to your local circle. So literally pick up your phone, look at your contacts, and talk to them. Say like, hey, I'm starting this new thing. Do you know anybody who might be interested? And we can hop on a call and help them. That's literally it, right? That's the whole entire system. So this is the best way to do it, because once you have warm outreach, there's no reason why you can't get your first 1 to 3 clients, right? Because everyone in their contacts has at least, I say you should have at least 100 people in your contacts, at least. So if you contact 100 people and you say, hey, do you know this, whatever, you contact them, you tell them, hey, do you know anybody who might need my services? I guarantee that at least 3 of these people are going to know somebody who might need help with your services. So 3 of these people, you go there, you contact them, you hop on a call with them, right? You pick up the phone, hop on a call with them, and then you close the deal, right? You close the deal. So that's the best way to actually get your first couple of clients. Now, once you get your first couple of clients, you're going to want to pick your niche and stick to it, right? When first starting out, it's okay to be a little bit flexible because you don't really know a lot about the business. But once you figure out a niche that works for you, double down on it and figure it out and push it as far as you can, right? So that's exactly how we started. So me and Pedro, we had our own agencies together. He had a bunch of real estate agents. I had a bunch of home service people. We realized that we like working with home service people more because real estate agents are a little finicky, a little like, they're kind of like divas, I'll be honest. So we decided to work with HVAC and roofers and people like that, right? So this is basically what you want to do. So overall, for this whole thing and this whole video, what you're going to want to take away is that, one, you're going to want to have one niche that you focus on, right? You're going to want to be able to charge at least $1,000 apart from the ad spend you charge them. You're going to want to, of course, have your competitive advantage. and figure out exactly who you can work with, who's going to be an easy client to start working with, right? So that's the exact system we have. Now, if you want to start off and actually start to scale it further, I highly recommend doing cold outreach, cold SMS, or running ads. But before you do that, I think you should have some results under your belt, right? So that's basically our framework in choosing a specific niche. Now, if you guys love the content and you guys got value, make sure to click the link below, hop on a call with us and see if it would be a good fit to work together for you to scale your own agency. Because if you're saying, Zach, I just want someone else to handle all this stuff, I just want a step-by-step guide, it's just too complicated, don't worry, we're going to help you out with that, right? But I hope this video gave you a lot of value, guys. I love making these videos as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.